Hello friends, this is Cheryl Atwater talking to you from Wake Forest, North Carolina. You will know me from my videos as Nana, and this is my first installment of Nana's Notions. I live here with my husband Raymond of almost 50 years. We have a son close by and a lovely daughter-in-law, 2 grandsons and 1 granddaughter. We had 2 sons, but one of them got their angel wings and left this earth in 2005. You'll be hearing more about my children as we go along. This is my maiden voyage. This is my debut. This is my premiere. In other words, this is my first video for human consumption. Now, I know I didn't say that right, but I thought it'd be a good word to use here. Now, today we're going to talk about foundations, and I'm going to show you a little bit about my new hobby. As you can see now, I am very pale and I don't have on makeup or anything, as my mother would say, makeup or anything. So I'm going to work with you through the next sessions showing you my new hobby. Now, I've had this hobby of makeup and face contouring and so forth for maybe a year. I never was into that when I was a teenager. I'm sure I did it quite wrong. In fact, in times when I had a long commute to church or a long commute to work, I would keep my makeup there in the car and just kind of smear it on as I went along. I know I look like a clown, but I have learned a lot of techniques. I was first inspired on YouTube by the man called the Makeup Guy, and he does all these redos and makeups and really profound and very exciting makeup redos. He completely does the hair and the makeup and so forth. His mother is 80, and if you've ever seen her video, she looks gorgeous when she's finished. So we're not going to do everything today. It takes me 20, probably 30 minutes to do my full face, as I call it, and I think I would bore you with that. So I'm just going to show you the beginning steps, the foundation, and a little contouring. Now, I call this a foundation because I want to talk to you a little bit about the foundations on my face and a little bit about the foundation of my faith. So we're going to do both, but let me tell you a little bit first about how I cleanse my face. Now, I've had a little work done on my face and on the rest of my body. You would think I would be gorgeous, as much money as I have spent, but of course I'm not gorgeous. I believe confession is good for the soul, so as we go along, I don't mind telling you what I've had done. First of all, I lost a lot of weight in 2011 because I had gastric bypass. I lost about 110 pounds. Now, I've gained a little of it back, and I can get it off with keto, and then I gain it back. Anyway, but after that, the first thing I had done was my eyes done. Now, because I had ptosis, or really droopy eyes, so if your insurance will cover it if sort of an eye lift, a blepharoplasty, if your field of vision is obstructed somewhat, so you have to get that done, and it did pay for that. Now, I had the eyelids lifted, but look, this one's drooping again. I'm going to have it done again. Another thing they can do is do a real eye lift, and that's more permanent. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to look like Catwoman. I don't want anything major done to my face to look permanent. While they did that, while insurance paid for that, I had huge circles under my eyes, even more than I have here, and a little droop here, so I paid to have that done. Then, several years ago, I had my neck done. I didn't want a full facelift. They wanted me to have one because, see, I got so much extra skin. I just had my neck lifted some, and while it is still not great, it's jiggly, as my grandsons call it, it's a lot better than it was, but I've got some tricks to kind of hide all this stuff that I'm going to show you. So, you know, your foundation is extremely important. My father was a builder in the Chapel Hill area for many years. He was a wonderful builder, David Curl. Many of you knew him. And he said there was some soil in Orange County that you think you have gotten it down to a good footing, but you have to be very careful because it might not be on a firm footing. So you know, if you've ever had foundation problems in your house, you know, you will have a little settling, maybe your tile will crack, or your you can see it in even your sheetrock or molding. So we want to have a good foundation. So I have really worked on trying to get my skin in good shape, and I'll have to tell you, my skin is probably in better shape than it has been in years. Also, about 6 months ago, I had a laser resurfacing. Now, I've had it was hard. But I looked like I had been burned. I could show you pictures. If you message me individually, I'll show you. But it was worth it in the long run. And it was about $1,200. It took about a week to look like I could go out in public. I've spent a lot of time in the sun in my life, and I actually tan well. Shh, don't tell anybody, but I do not put on sunscreen except on my face. I do not want sun on my face anymore. So some of the things I was working on was to get this sun out of my face, these sunspots off. So that's my confession for the day. That's what I've had done. But let me tell you first about how I cleanse my face. Now, again, I used to just put soap and water and just kind of scrub it. But I have learned now to be much more gentle with my face. So I have some products just for general cleansing. I will use this CeraVe foaming, but I also like to have a little scrub. And if I really want to scrub it, I have some scrubs. I don't have any right here with me. Well, yes, I do. I have my Rodan Fields. This makes a very good scrub. I also sometimes make a little coconut oil with a sugar scrub. I make it myself. And I don't do an exfoliation every day, maybe a few times a week. I also have this wonderful little electronic scrubber. So I will either do this, some kind of exfoliation about a couple of times a week. Otherwise, I just wash it well. Now, I have some good little reusable pads that you can wash your face with. I like this because you don't see all the makeup on. I have learned there are really two steps, removing your makeup and also really cleansing your face. The only problem I really have with removing makeup, I think, is on my eyes for mascara. This little scrub gets it off extremely well. I have put coconut oil or baby oil on them, but then it kind of blurs my vision. Now, I also want to tell you that, okay, so I sometimes just use a regular old bath cloth in the shower. Now, I heard that Kris Kardashian told her girls to use a bath cloth to wash her face because it kind of will exfoliate. That is the only advice I take from her. I am not wanting to emulate those Kardashians. I don't agree with their lifestyle, but I do think that is a good tip. So I do wash my face well, make sure I have off the makeup. Sometimes I'll just wash my face with coconut oil to get off makeup and to cleanse it. I also then, there are 3 other things other than a good cleanser I need. I need a good toner. Now, I am not selling anything on this. Don't have any sponsors. That would be lovely if I got paid for it, but I don't. So a good all-around product is this Rodan Fields. It's a good scrubber, it's a good sunscreen, it has a toner, and it also has a vitamin C retinol blend. I have used this. If I was just going to choose one skincare product and didn't want to go into all these others, I would just get a Rodan Fields. Now then, after I cleanse my face, I put a little toner on. I've used up all my Rodan Fields. This is a little Neutrogena toner, and I think toners actually help give a good, clean it again if there's anything left on it. It gives it a little base for moisturizer. It helps, I think, brighten a little bit your skin. So I use a toner. I also love a serum. Now my doctor, my dermatologist, I asked her what to use, and she told me about a Ceracuticals toner. That toner was over, serum, that serum was over $150. Now, that's just too expensive to me. So I have looked online with YouTube, and I found a dermatologist online that I follow that gives us good over-the-counter products. This CeraVive serum is wonderful. It has vitamin C. It has a middle package because vitamin C can break down in the sunlight. It has some other products because vitamin C doesn't penetrate the skin very well, so there needs to be, it's probably got A on it, maybe some hydrouric acid. So I use this. Then I do use a moisturizer. I have a lot of sample moisturizers. I'll tell you about where I've gotten all those samples from. But generally I use the CeraVive All-Purpose Moisturizing Cream. I do use a sunscreen on my face only. As my dermatologist said, you want to preserve your expenses. You want to preserve your investment. I do, if I'm going to walk out the store, I'm going to have a sunscreen minimal of 30, often 50. Now, sometimes these sunscreens are already in your other products. So then the next step would be, before I put on my makeup, would be to add a primer. I am almost 70 years old. I tell you, I've only started hearing about face primers, lip primers, primers. I thought a primer was just something you put on before you put on your paint. But a primer sort of helps conceal pores, or a primer can also help establish a better palette that for you to add your makeup with. Now I have some liquid primers, but I also have, one of my favorite is this little drugstore primer from e.l.f. It's called a putty primer. And what it does is also, and I just put it on with my fingers, it helps to cover your pores or kind of clog up if you have any pores. Now, I don't think I have really big pores or pop marks. If I did, I'd go back and get some more laser. But this one goes on, it is kind of a thick paste. I didn't think I had pores till I got to looking real closely with magnified mirrors, lighted mirrors. So I do use this e.l.f. primer. Another thing that I got as a gift, I would have never bought this, one of these rollers. This is jade. And I don't use it. It came in one of those boxes I get. But I will just show you. I think the point is to try to get rid of any swelling, so you'll start in the middle and go out. I don't ever use it. I'm just showing off for all my gadgets. Then the next thing is to add your foundation. Some people do their concealer first. I've seen it done both ways. I've seen you do your concealer first. I've seen it where you do your foundation first. But I think today I'm just going to show you my foundation, and I may need to, excuse me, I dropped my remote control. Just for you, just for this broadcasting methods, I have bought this little light. It's a halo light, and I have my phone sticking in it, and it has a little remote control. So I think the most important color to get is to get your foundation right. Now, I have ordered some online that didn't work well, so I have just, especially Gallagher, Laura Gallagher's, everything I buy from her looks kind of orange on me, so I have just bought some pigment, yellow pigment, that I'm going to try to kind of mix that up to have a better color for me. But years and years ago, I went to a Lancome counter, and I had them, you do my makeup there, and they helped me find this color that works extremely well for me. So this is my go-to color. Now, it's expensive to replace this. I can't remember, probably $100, $125. So now that I have the color, I have learned to go onto the website, either Amazon or maybe eBay, and I get a refill. Since now I know the color, I just order the refill. So this is a lot cheaper. So that's how I save a little money. Also, in one of the boxes I got from Ipsy or Birchbox, they had this little CC cream, and I love this so much that I went back and bought the bigger bottle. It's probably $30, $35, maybe $40. Also, in the summer, I want to be a little darker. Being that I put sunscreen on my face and tanning product, nothing except some tanning oils on my body, I feel like I look like a mom. So I will darken up my foundation a little bit in the summer. I'll also add a little bronzers. So that's how I keep that going with the right color. So today, I'm just gonna add a little of this CC cream. And let me tell you, I have to put on my glasses. I order stuff online, and the writing is so tiny. I'm not, even with my glasses on, sometimes I think I'm putting it on the wrong part of my body. It may be supposed to go on my hair, and I'm putting it on my face. But this is a slightly tinted cream, and it is by, I can't even find the name on it, Marcelli. Now, when I apply my foundation, I always apply a little on my hand and just work off my hand. I don't quite know why. There are so many things that you can use for your foundation. I'm just going to confess to you right now that I have a lot of brushes. And I have some at the beach and some in my travel kit. So I have a lot of choices. You can apply your foundation with a little foundation flat brush. I thought I had it all out here to show you, and now I messed it up. This is a really good foundation brush. Now, some people, so when I put on my glasses, I don't like to wear them on screen because you can see the reflection of my wonderful light here. A good way of doing your foundation is with this little foundation brush. Some people, of course, just put it on with their fingers and then blend it in. And I can't see too well what I'm doing here. So you can apply this with this foundation brush. But my favorite, my very favorite foundation brush is sort of a paddle brush. You see this? Now I'm going to get out my little mirror. I have a little tiny lighted makeup mirror that I'm going to need to really make sure I can get this on well. So you start in the center and you go out for your face. Now you're going to blend all this in another way too. So I either use one of these methods. Now we're still going to blend it when I start adding my other items. The next thing I'm going to add, I'm going to do my concealer. Oh, and I have a lot of concealers. And I learned to do this. In fact, if you go on YouTube, you can find all this stuff and these experts that are even better than me. So you really want to conceal these bags under your eyes. Now you go down with sort of a V going down your eye this way. And this cute, I tell you, I'll look like a clown till it all comes together. I'm going to go through these lines here. So I'm trying to conceal these spots. If I have really dark spots, I would conceal it. My face, if I don't smile, I look like this. It's kind of a family facial feature that my mouth turns down. In fact, I feel like I look like the Old Maid card. Have y'all ever played Old Maids? I still love to play it now. It is so much fun. Sometimes I play it with my grandchildren. So I'm going to put on this concealer. Now, it, of course, is going to take a lot of blending. Now, there are several things you can do to blend your makeup. What's very popular now are these sponges, these blending sponges. Some of them cost a lot of money. In fact, that makeup brush, that flat that I was putting on my makeup with at first, when I went to that Lancome counter, they wanted me to sell me one for $28. You think I'd pay $28 for one blush, one brush? No. I get a group and I get a whole package of them from Amazon or somewhere like that. So we are going to do a little bit of blending here. We're still going to blend it more. We're still going to blend it more. We're going to come on down here, and as I get on my other items, I'm going to blend it more. Now, so you can use a makeup blush like this, and I sprayed it to get a little wet. The first one I ever had was kind of a gel, and it did okay, but then I learned to do better brushes. Also, you can use just these little disposable sponge wedges that you get even from the drugstore. See, it's blending a little bit better. Not perfect yet, I haven't got it yet. And then, but my favorite blender now, I think, is this wonderful blended brush. I have a lot of brushes, and I thought in these gift boxes, come every month, I thought, don't send me another brush. But they sent me this little tapered brush, and it is wonderful, especially to add in my blush. Now, another thing I do with my face, my foundation, and that's all I'm going to do for today, is to add contouring and highlighting. Well, whoever heard of that? I had to really learn how to do it. The first contouring makeup I got is here from the drugstore, and I think it's Physician Formula. It's a bronzer and a highlighter and contouring. Basically this, if you have things you want to hide, you're going to try to put it in a shadow with like a contour color. If you have things you really want to highlight, you want to do that with a whiter color. So the first thing I'm going to do, and you're going to really think I'm silly here, I am going to add, I have some color palettes, makeup palettes, I have a lot of makeup that have the whole set in it. Some of them just have highlighters, and I always break them off. But this one has highlighters, it has sort of bronzers. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and get sort of a little brown. Actually, I'm going to use this one. Now, when one tool that's very good when you are contouring is this stippling brush. I've also heard it called something else. Kabachi brush or something like that. I don't think I said it right. It's sort of a stippling brush. Now, I want you to look. I think my forehead's a little high. As we get my age, you lose hair where you don't want to lose it, and you get hair where you don't want to get it. So I'm going to use my stippling brush, and I am going to just stipple right up here to try to hide a little bit this high forehead. I think the rule of thumb is if you have more than 4 fingers height free in your hairline, you definitely need to do something to try to cover it up. So I'm going to stipple it right here, and I'm going to stipple it here in this little curve here. The other thing I want to cover, I told you, was this neck. So don't be afraid to come on down. You're putting it in a shadow, okay? You're really making a shadow here. I gotta blend it in. Now see how the most perfect face, the most beautiful face shape is an oval. Mine used to be more rounder than this. It's a little bit oval, but there are pieces that aren't. So right here, I wanna make sure that I have a little bronzer here to try to hide that. I got it all straight. Okay, so I'm gonna hide this. But the other thing you want to do stipple, stipple, stipple. The other thing you want to do is to cover in and make a little hollow here so your cheekbone looks better. Now for that, you want to really hollow out so you know your face looks thinner. I really need to do that, make my face look thinner. So I'm going to take a little angle brush, and I'm going to start up here at my ear, and I'm going to go kind of right in here under my cheeks, under my jowls, as we'd say in the South, under my jowls. So I'm going to stipple here now. I'm going to have to move all this, rub all this in just a minute. I got too much here. You see that? I got too much. Okay. Then I am going to put on a little blush. And then I'm going to rub it all in. Rub it all in. Now, I have a plethora of blushes, but what I have just learned to use is this gorgeous cream blush again. This is just a little e.l.f. And I can put it on with a little brush, some of my brushes, or I can just put it on here with my finger. I used to just rub it here on my fat cheeks. That makes you look like an apple. It makes you look fatter. So I'm just gonna go right in here and do my cheeks, and then